I was driving to work, y'all, and I was listening to Angie Martinez's podcast, her In Real Life podcast, and she's interviewing Tabitha Brown. And let me just say this: one of my good girlfriends told me to follow Tabitha Brown some years ago. And I just remember my good girlfriend saying, she was like, I think you should follow her. She sent me like one of her videos. She was like, you just remind me so much of her. And I I really want you to take your videos, because I used to, I'm getting back into it, but I would make videos all the time, just like talking and sharing stories. And I would just like, even if it made me uncomfortable, like I would just do it. Like I would just straight go for it and I would do it. I would watch these videos sometimes like 4, 5, 6, 7 times after editing them. I will post them and still watch the video like over and over, because I'm like, that's me, I just didn't see myself. Like I used to lock myself in my room growing up, and I would want to be a DJ and be on the radio like Angie Martinez, and I would watch videos on BET, so I would learn choreography. Like I know that I wanted to be a performer, but it was so sacred to me. Like I was so worried about being judged. Like even in my family, I would always be responsible for making up like dance routines and all that stuff and having to sing. I used to always have to do Tina Turner for my grandmother, and I perfected Tina Turner. But still it was like I still felt like it still was like sacred to me. Like being in my room and doing those things was sacred to me. And even making the videos, like, I just still I couldn't believe that was me. Like, I couldn't believe it was me. But it was always, I felt something always warm. Like listening to Tabitha videos, I always they were very warm. They always made me cry. I'm tearing up now because I understand the gifts. I have the gifts. And just being able to feel people's energy. I can feel when somebody is anointed. I can feel when somebody has been through some things and they pulling through. They're doing their best. So it would just make sense that my friend would be like, hey, I think you should listen to this woman, because I see, I see the similarities. Like I see your calling, like this is your calling. And I appreciate that, friend. Then, right, I journeyed with ayahuasca for the first time 3 years ago. And my first night, right, you have to speak your intention over the medicine. So my first night journey, I speak my intentions over the medicine. We take our medicine and we get settled in. And as I'm laying there, one of the things that I noticed was that Mother would not allow me to have any negative thoughts. Like my self-talk, and I'm still teaching myself this, my self-talk is like, it's horrible. Like, and I realized that it's just all these false beliefs that I created in my mind about myself, all the things that I used to hear adults say about me to my face, or they didn't think I can hear them, but I can. I kind of wear that, as a badge of honor, thinking like, and I said to my therapist before, like, I do think that I'm a bad person, because I just heard it so much. Like, whenever I would make a mistake or just be a teenager, I wasn't met with compassion or grace. And I understand it's because my mom wasn't met with compassion or grace. So I understand the cycle, the generational pattern. But it's like you still hold on to that stuff. Like you don't forget that adults didn't give you grace. I don't recall ever being greeted or treated with compassion by my elders, by my own parents. It was just like I'm supposed to know how to do stuff. And it's like, excuse me, I am 9 and 10 years old. I'm 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Like, it's your job to teach me that. Now I understand, like in hindsight, I understand that this is what I picked in my soul contract, to have these parents. So that I can, teach myself compassion and grace. But when I was in the medicine, like Mother would not allow me to have negative thoughts. But what I also found interesting is that Mother's voice sounded like Tabitha Brown's voice. And so one of my friends, she was the one who told me about the ayahuasca retreat. And so when she got up to go to the bathroom, even though I was like in the medicine, like Mother had me under the covers, and I was like talking to myself. I was being my own best friend. I was being my own sister. My sister passed away a few years ago, and I'm like still working through that because we never got to have that relationship, like that sisterly bond. And having a sister that is also your cousin, that's traumatic within itself. So mother was just being so gentle and being so nurturing, and the voice that I heard, she sounded like Tabitha Brown. And so my friend, because you're purging these things out of your body. My friend gets up to go use the bathroom, and I'm deep in this medicine, and I come out of I come from under the covers, and like I can see her, and I'm like, "Are you okay? Where you going?" And I just hear mother sound like Tabitha Brown, and she just kept saying, "That's not your business. That's not your business." Like she kept telling me to like, "Mom, my business. Like take care of yourself." Like I was like the way that I was raised, very maternal. I helped my mom with my brother, even though my dad literally lived right around the corner from us in a 2-family house. We lived in the projects, and I always had to help my mom with my brother. And I've ended up in like so many jobs and so many positions where I was the leader, but it was like I'm doing everything just as I did as a kid. I was always just taking care of people, and I'm in this space right now where like after journeying with Mother Ayahuasca 3 years ago, like I'm like realizing, I'm waking up and I'm like, like this is not for me. Like I want to be able to take care of myself first. And like I literally drive to work like in tears, like listening to people testimonies on like podcasts and them talking about, living their truth and living their freedom. I was a little girl that used to lock herself in her room and just be so creative. Like even the way that I'm dressed now, like sometimes I get uncomfortable when I'm walking around people because I don't, even though I dress the part, I don't always feel the part, and my glasses was only $12, but baby, you can't tell me nothing. I feel fly and I feel good, but I have to constantly remind myself because I was not encouraged. Like I used to have to encourage my mom. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't have that relationship with my mom. My mom didn't know how to speak life into me. I was speaking life into my mom and pouring into my mother until I realized like that's an imbalance. Like, you're my mom. Like these are the things that you're supposed to be teaching me. But I'm also learning again, like that's not what I picked in this lifetime. That's not the contract that I have in this lifetime to have a mother like that. But yeah, I just wanted to share that because I was listening to the podcast, and as soon as I got the notification that Tabitha was going to be up there, like I gotta watch it. So I'm just driving to work and I'm listening to it. But from the moment she started talking, like I started welling up like my eyes, because again, I can feel when somebody is anointed. I could feel their testimony. I don't have to know exactly what they've been through, but I could feel it. Like I used to be like that with Big Frida. I used to watch Big Frida's show, and every time I would like watch the show, like I would just start tearing because I can feel like what they've been through. I could feel their anointing. Like even with my sister-in-law, like I can't even talk to my sister-in-law without tearing up because I can feel her anointment. I can feel what she's been through. And just like having somebody like Auntie Tab like get up there and like talk about her gifts, and and not wanting to have those gifts at first, because it is a lot having those gifts. I done lost plenty of friends having that gift of being a mirror, having that gift of foresight, and like kind of being able to like feel, like not kind of, but being able to feel people and see people. And when I journeyed with Mother Ayahuasca, I noticed like I lost a lot of friends after that, because now I can see you and I can hear you very clear. I have the gift of seeing, I have the gift to hear, among other things. But like having those gifts, like those people that I call friends, they knew that they were naked and I can really see them. And now you can't play in my face no more. So that's just where I'm at on this journey. But yeah, that was like really cool. I'm not even done listening to the interview, but I just wanted to like share that, man. Like I appreciate someone like Auntie Tab just using her platform to just talk about having those gifts and not being afraid, to use them. And yeah.